Hello heroes, and welcome to another incredible episode of History of the Marvel Universe. This topic was decided by Patreon supporters. If you'd like to vote in monthly polls that help decide what I talk about on the channel, you can sign up for $1 per month over at patreon.com/MaryMarvelite. The link is in the description below, and if you'd like to help me out for free while you're down there, then you can consider hitting that like button. This week's tale actually begins in an alternate timeline known as Reality 78411. You see, in the Marvel Universe we know, on Earth 616, dinosaurs nearly went extinct millions of years ago. According to one story, this was primarily caused by a dispute between two elder gods, the great serpent Set and Mother Nature, Gaia. While Set favored the dinosaurs, Gaia knew that mammals were destined to rule the world and reluctantly decided to allow the giant reptiles to die out. Set attempted to counter this by reaching into the minds of the dinosaurs and compelling them to hunt and kill mammals. To prevent this, Gaia summoned her firstborn son, Atom, the sun god, to battle the serpent god. Taking the form of Demogorge, the God-Eater, Atom forced Set to retreat back to his interdimensional exile, but the cataclysmic effects of their battle caused a climatic upheaval that led to the near extinction of the dinosaurs. Of course, other reports indicate that the cataclysm which wiped out the dinosaurs roughly 66 million years ago was caused by a massive asteroid striking the planet. According to a relatively recent story, this asteroid was apparently intentionally drawn in by the Earth itself in order to crack open the superflow, cause the planet's first white event, and create a star brand. If you don't know what any of that means, don't worry, it's not really relevant to today's video. We'll probably talk about the star brand eventually, but for now, please enjoy this depiction of a superpowered Tyrannosaurus repelling a group of invading alien Kree. I'll also note that these two stories, one involving the Elder Gods and one involving the Star Brand, don't necessarily contradict one another and easily could have happened at roughly the same time. The important thing is that by the modern day, only small pockets of dinosaur species still existed in isolated environments like the Savage Land in the Antarctic or Wakanda's Serpent Valley. However, apparently on Earth 78411, the extinction event which changed the course of evolution never happened. And so various species of dinosaurs shared the planet with primitive hominids known as the Dawn Men. It should be noted that this reality is often confused with a prehistoric Earth, but we'll talk more about that a bit later in the video. In an area called the Valley of Flame, one of these Dawn Men, a member of the Small Folk tribe, was born with a mutation that made him more intelligent and inquisitive than his forebears. Because he enjoyed exploring at night, where the others were afraid of the dark, he was given the name Moon Boy. And one fateful evening, Moon Boy decided to investigate the volcanic Fire Mountain more closely. While making the journey, he came upon a more violent tribe, the Killer Folk, who had trapped a family of devil beasts, an omnivorous species similar in appearance to the Tyrannosaurus. The savage Dawn Men murdered the mother dinosaur and two of her children before closing in on the third. This final devil beast had injured several of their kin, and so the Killer Folk attempted to burn him with torches and offer him as a sacrifice to the volcano. However, it was the mountain itself which saved the dinosaur when an eruption forced the Killer Folk to flee. When Moon Boy approached, it seemed as though the devil beast was badly burned, turning it red. The truth that neither could fully comprehend is that, like Moon Boy, this particular dinosaur was a mutant of his species, not only making him more intelligent, but also more durable, and that the intense heat had awakened his latent mutation. Simply calling him Devil, Moon Boy attempted to help the young dinosaur, but was soon attacked by another, one called a Leaper. While still weary and weakened, Devil scrambled to his feet to save his new friend. After that, Moon Boy brought Devil Dinosaur to the soothing waters of the cool forest. He brought him food and nursed him back to health, and while the dinosaur's strength recovered, the bond between the two strengthened as well. However, the other small folk were less understanding, and when Moon Boy brought Devil Dinosaur to meet them, his brothers and sisters fled in fear. While Moon Boy became an outcast from his own tribe, he found a new brother in Devil Dinosaur, who eventually grew into a towering beast. Soon Devil became the dominant predator in the Valley of Flame, his above-average intelligence allowing him to use the terrain to his advantage. He also slaughtered any killer folk on sight, further earning the tribe's enmity. When a Don man named Seven Skrulls took over the killer folk, he attempted to kill Devil Dinosaur by leading him into a spiked pit. When this failed, they caused a rock slide to bury him under a mountain of rubble. They then attempted to sacrifice Moon Boy to a giant spider called Longlegs, but Devil survived and broke free, saving his companion and crushing Seven Skrulls. This wasn't the only other tribe that the two would encounter, as Devil also clashed with a massive member of the giant folk who wore a Triceratops skull as a helmet. However, it seems that the big one was searching for his child Ruka, who had wandered into the Valley of Flame. And so while Devil defeated his foe by knocking him into a swampy bog, Moon Boy convinced him to save the giant's life, and the two pairs parted ways peacefully. The next foes that the duo faced were invading alien robots they dubbed the Sky Demons. While Moon Boy was abducted alongside other denizens of the valley, Devil allied himself with two members of the Hill Folk tribe, Stonehand and Whitehair. They also encountered and befriended a woman from the Forest Folk named Eve. Devil and the Dawn Men were ultimately able to defeat the alien robots by tricking them into a battle with giant ants known as the Swarmers. Their spacecraft was mostly destroyed in the attack, releasing all the dinosaurs and Dawn Men they'd taken captive. However, a piece of the ship's computer remained operational, which the locals referred to as a demon's tree. Seeking to protect them, the computer held Eve, Stonehand, and Whitehair captive, generating a force field around them. This soon backfired when Whitehair's death was caused by a radiation leak from the computer. Ultimately, Devil Dinosaur was able to break through the force field, overloading the demon tree and rescuing Stonehand and Eve. Following this, Moon Boy attempted to reunite with the Small Folk tribe, finding them hiding from the Dino Riders, a group of hominids who rode enslaved dinosaurs. Their leader, Greytooth, attempted to break Devil's will and make him his new mount, but Moon Boy led his tribe to free his friend, leading to the Riders' defeat. Sometime later, Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur found a peculiar woman known as the Hag of the Pits. Ignoring her warnings, Devil wandered into her territory where several pits contained strange forces. When a flash of light from one caused Devil to stumble backwards, he fell into a warp in space and time, bringing him to modern-day Earth 616 for the first time. Fortunately, Moon Boy was left behind in Dinosaur World and was able to convince the Hag and her son to reopen the portal and bring Devil Dinosaur back where he belonged. While his trip to Nevada was relatively brief, reports of these events would later inspire the production of a Devil Dinosaur movie. It should again be noted that many stories, both new and old, tend to treat Dinosaur World as if it were Earth 616 in the distant past, ostensibly during the Mesozoic era. For example, at one point, several members of the New Warriors and a living cartoon named Slapstick encountered a villain calling himself Dr. Yesterday, whose manipulations of chronal energy caused various figures from different times to appear in the modern day. This included, albeit only for a few seconds, Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur. However, official handbooks have claimed that Dinosaur World is an alternate reality, with Reed Richards giving it the designation Earth 78411. Now, ultimately this isn't terribly important to the individual stories, but it is interesting how there's always been this inconsistency, and we'll dig more into it near the end of the video. In a way, it's not dissimilar to how the world of Marvel 2099 has been treated both as an alternate reality designated Earth 928, and as a potential future timeline for Earth 616 depending on the story. But for the sake of simplicity, we'll refer to the time period and reality that Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur come from as Dinosaur World, and modern-day Earth 616 as just that. Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur have continued to have adventures together, at one point encountering an alien Skrull who impersonated the Killer Folk's old leader, Seven Scars, after attempting to assassinate a ruler of the interstellar Shi'ar Empire. As a result, Devil briefly had a team-up of sorts with Gladiator, a powerful warrior in the Shi'ar Imperial Guard. This culminated in a battle between Devil Dinosaur and the Skrull assassin who took a similar form. However, the Skrull could not maintain that size and shape for long and was arrested by Gladiator. Shortly after this, Moon Boy was offered the chance to return to the small folk and reunite with his mother, Kerba. The elder of the tribe even offered his youngest daughter to be his wife. However, they were unwilling to allow Devil into the tribe, and Moon Boy refused to abandon them. Meanwhile, on Earth 616, the global intelligence agency S.H.I.E.L.D. had their hands full dealing with the infamous giant monster, Godzilla. They were ultimately able to capture it after shrinking it down to a more manageable size using Pym particles, and Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four decided to give Godzilla a more suitable environment by using Dr. Doom's time platform to send him back to the Cretaceous period. This is of course another story that treats Dinosaur World as the distant past, but according to official handbooks, Godzilla's radioactive body interfered with the time platform, causing him to instead emerge on Earth 78411. In either case, Godzilla arrived in the Valley of Flame, where he encountered Moon Boy, Devil Dinosaur, and the Lizard Riders. Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur ultimately led Godzilla to the Land of Pits that had once sent Devil to the modern day. There, the energy from the dimensional warp sent Godzilla back from whence he came, just as the shrinking effects of the Pym particles completely wore off. The exploits of Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur were also observed by two relatively young Celestials, Gamiel and Devron. While Devron was enthralled by their mutations, Gamiel felt that they would be too disruptive to the natural order, and pulled from Earth 616 the Incredible Hulk, sending the Green Goliath after Devil Dinosaur. When Devron discovered this, he further mutated Devil to give him more of a chance, but when the combination of gamma and mutagenic energies threatened to alert the mature Celestials, Gamiel and Devron abducted Devil and Hulk, holding them both captive. The two soon broke free, but the other Celestials arrived regardless, restoring Devil to normal and sending both he and Hulk back from whence they came. There was also a point in which Dinosaur World was discovered by the corrupt Roxxon Oil Corporation. Using technology to travel between dimensions, Roxxon plotted to exploit the natural resources of other worlds. While Devil Dinosaur was not involved in these events, his world was saved by the intervention of Quasar and the Thing. But Devil would later be transported to modern-day Earth 616 again, thanks to the intervention of a woman named Ariel from the hedonistic planet Coconut Grove. Since her race had produced no mutants for countless centuries, she was dispatched to abduct mutants from other species for study. To this end, she traveled to Earth and joined a group of misfits known as the Fallen Angels, which was led by the mutant criminal Vanisher. While most mutants on Earth were human mutants, Ariel learned about Devil Dinosaur from media coverage. Bit of a side note, but production on the Devil Dinosaur movie, based on reports of Devil's brief appearance in Nevada, was interrupted when a further mutated Godzilla attacked the set and destroyed the animatronic dinosaur. Anyway, Ariel brought the Fallen Angels to Dinosaur World so they could recruit Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur, both mutants of their own species. Now, it should be noted that in this story, Ariel makes the claim that Dinosaur World is actually another planet, and that previous notions that Devil Dinosaur came from Earth's past were misconceptions, but we'll talk more about that at the end of the video. While they spoke different languages, the primitive duo took a liking to their new allies and traveled with them to Earth. This was not without incident, however, as Devil accidentally stepped on and killed one of his new teammates, a cyborg mutant lobster named Don. While unable to properly communicate to anyone other than Moon Boy, Devil did feel remorse over this mistake. Of course, they did earn the ire of the non-mutant cyborg lobster Bill. Oh, and if you're wondering what Don's mutation was, it's that he was blue. Anyway, despite getting off on the wrong foot, so to speak, Devil and Moon Boy remained with the Fallen Angels for some time, including a trip to Ariel's home planet, Coconut Grove. While there, the team was captured, but succeeded in escaping and returned to Earth. Devil was subsequently taken by a man named the Conservator and brought to his wildlife preserve on Castillo Island, but soon broke free. Following this, Moon Boy asked Ariel to return he and Devil back to their own world. Devil briefly visited Earth 616 yet again in a caper involving the interdimensional bounty hunter team known as TechNet, and reportedly aided Wolverine and Beast while the two X-Men pursued something called a Time Arrow created by Kang the Conqueror. The pair were next brought to modern-day Earth when the sorceress Jennifer Kale tried to send Howard the Duck back to his home dimension, but accidentally opened a portal to Dinosaur World, allowing Devil and Moon Boy to come through in an attempt to eat the large fowl. In this instance, the mutant dinosaur was subdued by the Ghost Rider, Danny Ketch, and taken into custody. The prehistoric pair were subsequently studied by a scientist named Dr. Thomas Marys, who ensured that they were well taken care of. Moon Boy was given access to television, and after several months, he apparently became fluent in modern English, but doesn't really continue to use it in subsequent stories. Their comfortable stay there came to an end when Maynard Tybalt, the villainous ringmaster, procured a court order to release them, only to use his hypnotic powers to seize control of them himself, employing them in his circus. The two were freed again thanks to the intervention of the Amazing Spider-Man, and subsequently brought to the Savage Land, a hidden jungle in the Antarctic resembling the world they came from, where various species of dinosaurs ran free. There they befriended Kazar, the Lord of the Jungle, as well as his wife Shanna, son Matthew, and saber-toothed tiger Zabu. Alongside Vincent Stegron, the Dinosaur Man, and the Savage Land Mutates, a group of superhumans created by the mutant Magneto, they defended their new home from the forces of the Roxxon Oil Company. While there, Devil somehow produced a clutch of eggs, possibly through some form of parthenogenesis. When S.H.I.E.L.D. scientists later enlisted Misty Knight's heroes for hire to abduct Moon Boy for study, Devil reluctantly stayed behind to protect his eggs instead of saving his friend. When Devil subsequently fell into a state of depression, another Savage Land denizen, Stegron the Dinosaur Man, attempted to rescue Moon Boy. While Stegron was defeated by members of the Initiative, a young hero named Reptile, real name Humberto Lopez, learned the purpose of his mission and used his ability to partially transform into dinosaurs to free Moon Boy and reunite him with Devil. Several months later, refugees from the planet Sakaar, came to live in the Savage Land under the protection of Hulk's half-alien son, Skaar. Since he was new to the hidden jungle, Kazar asked Moonboy and Devil Dinosaur to watch over Skaar and protect him. Ultimately, they all stood side by side to defend their home against the forces of the Designer, the spirit of one of the Nuwali, the aliens who originally created the Savage Land at the behest of the Beyonders. Not every denizen of the Savage Land was a friend, however, as one of the mutates, a man named Brainchild, abducted various dinosaurs, stole devil's eggs, and mutated a Tyrannosaurus into his own Demon Dinosaur. Fortunately, with help from Spider-Man, Moonboy was able to retrieve the eggs. Following that, Moonboy took down Brainchild while Devil defeated Demon Dinosaur. Shortly after this, Devil's eggs began to hatch, with his babies sharing his red scales. It should be noted that while fire originally caused the change in Devil's color, his red scales aren't actually burned, but a mutant pigmentation that was triggered by the intense heat, along with the rest of his initially latent mutation. Now, as far as I can tell, what happened to these babies has yet to be revealed, but shortly after this, members of the Fantastic Four briefly encountered Moonboy and Devil Dinosaur when they traveled back in time 2.6 million years, which means we're back to treating Dinosaur World as the Earth's past and not an alternate reality? Okay, let's take some time to try and get to the bottom of this by really digging into the nitty-gritty. Devil Dinosaur debuted in 1978 in a book that was clearly intended to take place during the Mesozoic era millions of years ago. The biggest problem with that, of course, is that primitive hominids like the Dawnmen did not exist until millions of years after the extinction of the dinosaurs, but we're clearly dealing with a fantastical universe however you choose to explain it. 1979's Godzilla number 21 reinforces the idea that the series takes place in the past of the Marvel Universe when Dr. Doom's time machine was used to send Godzilla back in time, only for him to encounter Devil Dinosaur. In 1981, Marvel 2-in-1 number 73 introduced the idea of an alternate Earth where dinosaurs ruled the world, but Devil Dinosaur was not seen in this story. In 1983, in the appendix for the third issue of the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, it said that Devil Dinosaur is from an alternate Earth where dinosaurs survived into the time of early man. So this would mean that the Devil Dinosaur series does indeed take place in the past, but instead of being in the Mesozoic era of Earth 616, it's around the dawn of man on an alternate Earth. In 1986, in the official handbook of the Marvel Universe Deluxe Edition number 7, an appendix detailing other dimensions names this alternate Earth Dinosaur World and identifies it as the same reality that Roxxon attempted to plunder in Marvel 2-in-1. Now, this entry also indicates that mankind was slow to evolve on this world, meaning that Moonboy and Devil Dinosaur could actually exist in the modern day of that reality. This is further evidenced in 1987's Fallen Angels number 4, in which the team reaches Dinosaur World through a space warp, and Ariel makes the claim that the previous assumptions of it being Earth's past were incorrect. Since Ariel's powers involve bending space, this issue on its own could imply that Dinosaur World is an alien planet rather than an alternate Earth, but the Fallen Angels entry in the official handbook of the Marvel Universe Update 89 number 3 clarifies that Devil Dinosaur's world is other-dimensional. The Master Edition of the official handbook from the early 90s gives contradictory information, however. Moonboy's entry from issue 1 lists his place of birth as an unnamed alternate Earth. This is kinda peculiar because it was indeed named Dinosaur World in a previous handbook. But what's even more peculiar is that Devil Dinosaur's entry from issue 8 lists his place of birth as an unnamed alien planet. So at this point we're out of the realm of retcons and just getting contradictory information. For example, in 1994, Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur appeared in Marvel Comics Presents number 161 in a story involving time travel, while the following year in issue 174 of the same series they appeared again in an interdimensional caper. In the 1998 Amazing Spider-Man Annual, the recap page sticks with the idea that Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur are from Earth in an alternate dimension, and also clarifies that the pits in his world that had briefly sent him to Earth 616 contain interdimensional warps. This is backed up in 2003 by the appendix of Marvel Encyclopedia Volume 4 Spider-Man, which again identifies their home as Dinosaur World. But then, in a 2005 one-shot, Marvel Monsters Devil Dinosaur, in which Devil fights the Hulk, it's said that the Hulk was pulled from the future by an immature Celestial. But then, in a guidebook for that same series of one-shots released the same year, Marvel Monsters from the files of Ulysses, Bloodstone, and the Monster Hunters, it's said that the world Moon Boy describes does not resemble the past of Earth 616. In this handbook, it's stated that Reed Richards gives Devil Dinosaur's world the designation Earth 78411. As far as I can tell, this is the first officially published use of that number, and at this point it seems to be what was officially considered canon. The designation Earth 78411 was repeated when Devil Dinosaur had a full entry in 2009's Marvel Pets Handbook, which also clarifies that all previous instances of time travel leading someone to Dinosaur World were actually instances of interdimensional travel. For example, it explains that when an attempt was made to send Godzilla back in time, his radioactive body interfered with the time machine and he was instead transported to Earth 78411. This entry also claims that Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur live in what would be the 21st century of their world, meaning they aren't actually from the past. This was reprinted in another edition of the official handbook the following year, and then in 2011, Moon Boy's entry in the X-Men guidebook, Earth's Mutant Heroes, much of the same information was presented. And yet, in 2013's Fantastic Four number 2, the FF find Moon Boy on Earth 2.6 million years ago. And in 2016's Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, it's again stated that Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur lived in the Valley of Flame ages ago. In issue 23 of that same series, Devil's home is again listed as Dinosaur World, but Moon Girl reaches there by traveling through time. So, in the end, there's a lot of conflicting information, but what is the truth? What's the real canon? Is Dinosaur World really an era of Earth 616's past as initially intended, and is still sometimes implied? If so, is he from the Mesozoic era, which inexplicably has primitive hominids present? Or is he one of the dinosaurs who survived to see the dawn of man? Does that mean the Valley of Flame is simply located in the Savage Land? Or is it on an other-dimensional Earth as the handbooks have repeatedly indicated? Maybe it's a combination of factors, and Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur are from the distant past of their own dimension. Well, until we get another handbook clarifying things, let me know what explanation you prefer in the comments. Speaking of Moon Girl, we didn't really get a chance to talk about her in this video, so if you'd like a sequel to this one where I talk about that era, then let me know. Or if you'd like to read her adventures with Devil Dinosaur for herself, you can start with the 2016 series, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. It's cute, family-friendly, and available on Marvel Unlimited. But that is all the time I've got for this week. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, share the video, and subscribe for more Marvelous content. As always, the issues referenced in this video are listed in the description below if you'd like to read them for yourself, as well as links to other places you can find me, including my Patreon page, where for only $1 a month you can get your name in these special thanks here. So until next time, true believers, Excelsior!